Hello everybody, welcome to the Studios. My name is Magnus, and in this video I'm gonna be looking at some LEGO sets that not a lot of people are talking about. And these are the Nike sets. So for those of you who don't know, last year LEGO released a couple of Nike sets and they're kind of interesting. However, not that many people have talked about them, and even the people who know about them don't really seem to like these sets at all. So what I'm going to do in this video is basically go over all of the sets and see if this theme is kind of underrated at the moment, or if the theme is actually kind of bad. So let's get into this. So the first set that was released from the theme was the number 43008, the Nike Dunk, which was released in July of 2025, and is kind of an interesting set, where basically it's like a giant wall where the words dunk are written, and there's a giant shoe built as well as a giant basketball, and there's a cool minifigure as well with what I believe is an exclusive headpiece. I think his exclusive is supposed to represent a basketball, which is actually kind of cool. But is this set really that good? Well, honestly, I actually do think it looks kind of cool. I love the dunk layering, it looks cool, and the actual shoe looks cool, and the ball is cool, and the minifigure is cool, and well, the actual backdrop is not really that spectacular, but I do think it is kind of cool. So I do think that this set is kind of cool. Then in September of the same year, there were two more sets released. First of all, we have the number 43021, the Nike Dunk Trick Shot. So this is kind of an interesting set, but basically it's supposed to represent a minifigure coming out of a shoe and is about to do a dunk trick shot pretty much. So as for the shoe itself, it does actually look kind of cool. I do actually love the base itself, it looks cool. Though if I'm being honest, I don't really know what's going on with the backdrop kind of thing. Like, is that supposed to be graffiti or something like that? I don't really know. But it does look kind of cool. But it is kind of cool how there is a minifigure coming off the shoe. And I do kind of like the basketball net, I guess. I don't really know what you call it, a hoop? Yeah, I think it's called a hoop, but like the actual stand it's on, you know? But it does kind of look cool. But if you look at the bottom, you can kind of see some Technic pieces sticking out the bottom, but I don't really mind that too much. So overall, even though this set is kind of strange, I do kind of like this set. But now the other set that was released is the number 43010, the Nike Slam Dunk. So this set right here is supposed to depict a brick-built character about to do a slam dunk pretty much. And well, we gotta talk about the actual figure itself. So I do actually think the figure looks very, very impressive. I love the overall design, and I do know it's kind of weird how the person doesn't have a face, but I think if there was a face, well then the figure would look kind of cursed, like the figures included in the Flying Ford Anglia we got this year, which is a set nobody wanted, so I don't know why it exists, but I do think it's kind of cool how the figure actually doesn't have a face. So I do also love the stand that the minifigure is on, where it's kind of supposed to represent, it looks like there are some stars, it looks like, that's kind of cool. And I do think the mini shoes do look cool, and I do love the basketball net included as well. So even though this is very, very strange and bizarre to look at, I actually do think that this set is actually kind of alright. But now this year, in 2026, we're actually getting another set, and this is being released towards the end of March, and this is set number 43025, the Nike Air Max 95. So this is basically supposed to be another shoe, which is kind of crazy, but I do love the actual texturing on it. I do love the stripes that it has, and I do also love the top part as well. However, the most eye-catching part has to be the bubble air layering. That just looks so interesting. It doesn't even look like Lego at a glance. I guess that kind of shows how far Lego has come, because this to me doesn't really look like it's made of Lego pieces. It's actually kind of cool if you ask me. So even though the air part is probably the most eye-catching part, I do still think the shoe is cool, and this also does include minifigure, which is cool as well. So overall, I do think that this is kind of cool. But anyways, that was basically it for this video. I just wanted to go over all of the Nike sets that have been released so far. And if I'm being honest, I think my least favorite will probably have to be the Nike Dunk Trick Shot, just because it isn't really that appealing, honestly, and it isn't really that special, honestly. My favorite will probably have to be the most recent Nike Air Max 95. I do think that is actually very cool with the eye-catching air lettering. That's cool. And now let me know down in the comments below what you think of this theme, if you think it is kind of underrated, if you dislike the theme, or if you've overlooked this entire line of Leo sets. Now I would be curious to know if you want any of these sets, because I think it would be cool to actually have all of these sets, but we'll see if I'll get all of them. But anyways, that's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like, and make sure to subscribe to this YouTube, and hit that bell notification button so that you're gonna find out all the new video. So now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.